Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 170. Sorry, snotty. Today is Monday, February 20th, 2017, and I'm glad you could join me today. So, it's the morning. It's a little bit strange, but we'll work with it. Because I didn't want to record after rock climbing. I know. It was really bad yesterday. There was no recording. So I'm trying this in the morning. It doesn't look too terrible, all things considered. What was it? The other thing is that the lighting in this room may never be okay again. So this week, we ended up having sunshades put on all of our west-facing windows. And the window there is a west-facing window, so it's blocking like 70% of the natural light, so it's just not the same anymore. So I'm not sure. Honestly, what it really boils down to is I need to go back to recording outside again. And if anyone follows me on the Instagram, that picture of my husband in a fish tank, that's where I normally record. So until that fish tank, which could hold probably many human bodies, gets fixed and verified that it's water worthy and all that other stuff, then I'll be able to record outside again, because it's certainly been super nice. It was like 79 Saturday. It was gorgeous. Totally beautiful. And first cup of coffee, so whatever. It's fine. I've been awake for a while. It's just first cup of coffee. Okay, so we'll launch into the knitting, because I would like to record outside again, and that's the only nice shady spot on the offer. So I had some turtle time this weekend. This might be a smidge tall, but we're just going with it. So I've started the bind off, which I'm doing an I-cord bind off. It's actually a 5-stitch I-cord. Yeah. And because I actually do want it to be somewhat snug, I'm doing it different than the little horn points. So the horn points I would knit two together, knit one, to make it sort of flare out. This one I am doing the knit two together every row, so that it is two size, because it'll still be a little bit bigger, but not like a lot bigger, so it'll not stick out as much. And then that will coordinate nicely with the little horn thing. So I got a little bit done on this, and then what is it? And then distractions. So it seems to be going along reasonably well. What was it? The turtle, or tortoise, or what have you, whatever that creature is. I would have taken a picture of it on it, but apparently every time it gets out of its cage, it like has like a fright accident or something like that, which was why my friend had the tortoise in the little Rubbermaid bin. But so I was gonna take a picture because I was trying to figure out if it was zhuzhing correctly or if I actually needed to rip back in order to make it the right height. But I think this will work, and we'll just attach things to it, and if I need to stuff the top or something like that, whatever, should be fine. And actually, guys, I can't take it any longer. I'm gonna be right back. Alright. Man, crazy thinking. So, the other thing, which is going along fairly nicely. Sorry, I'm just trying to locate my sock blockers now. They're not too far away, but they weren't hanging in their normal spot in here, so yeah. The other thing that's going along quite swimmingly is my Viajante. So I'm wearing my Viajante today, because I figured that always makes it easier when you can show where you are in a project by having the project up there in front of you. So this is a Martina Bem pattern. I have knit this once before. This one has like way more beads and frippery than the pattern calls for, and way more mesh, because I got sort of tired of knitting on it and needed something new, and then was filled with regret when the beaded mesh was more annoying to knit, but yeah, such is life. So this is out of my nest of War Fruit Spin that I split up into a gradient, and I am into the second ball and finishing up the first ball, so I'm actually blending the two yarns together as I go, so you can see the line there from when I started to blend the two yarns together. But then it does have a really cool look to it because it is in hand spun, so then it has those like long stripes, which is pretty cool. So I am still pretty deep into the neck at this point, so I'll just for demonstration purposes, we are approximately here right now, so there's quite a lot of shawl to go. But it does have, what is it, that structure, so it does go over my head. Shenanigans. So it will go over my head and then sort of drape levelly down from there. And yeah, so I'm alternating skeins. It really ends up making for a much more subtle transition this way. So what's going to happen is that I've marked all my balls, so I have the 1/4 and 3/4 marks, or the 3/4 points marked, and then I've been alternating every row, which isn't necessarily the find your fade style, but appears to be doing the correct thing. And so that means that I will have 11 color blocks in my shawl. So, so I have my dark blue, then I'm working on my color block, which is sort of between the green and the blue. I think this is mostly greenish, depends on the light, but and then I will have about an equal size section, which will be the greeny blue color. Then I will have a section which is the greens and yellows, then the yellows, then maroon plus yellow plus maroon, maroon plus the warm brown, and then the mix of the warm brown and dark brown, and then finish off with the dark brown. And I'll probably just do the mesh after I'm into that last third of the dark, or the last 3/4 of the dark brown, and do it that way. So that'll be more true to pattern, because the mesh does make it pretty huge. And I definitely have, so that'd be the case where the way this pattern is done, what is it? You make it to the size of your head, and then you just go to town until you're out of yarn. So I think I'll be doing good on that. I'm actually using bigger needles this time than last time, which I find to be interesting, but I like the fabric the best on the 3s. Yeah, I like the fabric best on the 3s. I was thinking it would look nice in a finer needle, and maybe for this other yarn that would be the case, but I started with the thickest, so we're going with that, which made the fabric the nicest with the thickest needle, or with the thickest yarn. So this has gotten tons of love this week because it's been perfectly mindless, if that makes any sense. Because you're just going around and around and around, and then you come to the marker, and then you decide what it is you're going to do. I've actually been switching yarns in the decrease. So what I've been doing is actually knitting two together in both yarns, and then, or slip knitting in both yarns. So it makes for that little ridge maybe to be a little bit thicker there, but then it's still every bit, maybe it's not every bit stretchy, but it's reasonably stretchy in that region, because otherwise you'd be like twisting and stuff like that. So this just makes it so that it's just a little bit more stout in that region, and then it will thin out when I end up using the initial color. Let's see, so still have quite a lot of this ball, and I lost the faith. I was getting nervous about like how far my 25% was on the ball. I was really close, but I wound it into a little ball anyway, so it should be actually, would it be? So this should be good for many rows. So the cool thing about this is that by splitting it into quarters and then alternating it with the other skein is that it sort of makes it 3 equal blocks, if that makes any sense. So then on average it's 2 blocks of 50%, which is pretty cool. So that's sort of what I was going for there. And whether or not this makes it look color blocky, or whether it makes it look like there is a smooth transition, I'm not sure. I didn't necessarily spin it from like gradient style so that it was going to be going from like one shade to the other shade. That would be a whole different ball of wax. Though that could also be interesting as well. I think I was planning at some point to spin it as a continuous skein, and that might have been interesting, but I would have failed in my spin the bin challenge, so perhaps that would have been ill-advised. So it has been super nice mindless knitting though, so I've been appreciating that. Apparently I do not have headspace for non-mindless knitting right now. But I did do some, what was it? So, Viajante, Matrina Ben, Nest Fiber Arts, and I still have quite a lot of yarn to go. This project bag isn't quite big enough, but the turtle project's living in the project bag that is, so we're just making do with the wrong size bag. So, it's pretty full. The other thing that did get a little bit of love, but not a ton, is the Out of Darkness shawl. So I am still in Lace Repeat D. I'm getting ready for a ridiculously beaded row. So you can see a little bead shining there, and then there we go, some of the lace repeat. So I have like one bead in there. Soon it will be a lot more beads for this particular chart. So when I'm done with this chart, I'll weigh my ball, figure out where I stand, and then assess whether or not I need to get another ball to finish this guy off. So, but that, since that hasn't been mindless knitting, it's definitely the case where you have to do it when you have time to sit down and have all the beads out, have the chart in front of you. I just really haven't had time this week where I've wanted to do that. We'll put it that way. So sometimes you want to do something ridiculous like that, and other times you're not ready. So, and for whatever reason, the Viajante project has just been way more fun. Okay, I have some light zhuzhing for the Viajante. Okay, so then the last thing hanging out is the mitts that I'm sort of making up on the fly. So since I've seen you guys last, I have finished both of the multicolored braids, or both of the multicolored pieces. So I have a little bit of tail left here, and that's fine. I'll just include all the scraps when I give it away. And then this one, I have marked out where the thumb goes. And then I will need to similarly, this is where the thumb goes, is between here and here. So then there's this much that I'll need to have work together, then I will only work on one side and then resume working back and forth like that. And I'll need to mark this out on, I think, the other mitt before I get started on this one. So this will probably involve one of the, I might need to scavenge cables or something like that, I'm not sure. Or figure out what needle I want it to be on, or maybe I have two needles. I haven't decided yet. So, but I do have both things knit. They are the same size. They're very soft and squishy. And I think based on the stretch, what I'm going to do is make sure that I cast on the number of stitches that gives me about 3.5 inches, because that's about how wide it needs to be for the hand. Not my hand. My hand doesn't need nearly that much, but it goes from there. And then I have the black yarn in the bag if I want to do it, and I just haven't felt like doing it. I even have my interchangeable set hanging out in this bag, taking up lots of room. Definitely not enough coffee this morning. Let's see if I can just grab those blockers. Okay. So, I did finish something this week, so yay! I'm not even sure what had happened exactly, but I managed to get some time to finish my Happy Hooves bat socks. So this is my vanilla sock pattern, which is called Just Ribbing and isn't available on the internet anymore. Not that it really matters for me, because I don't know if I saved it or not. I definitely have a copy floating around somewhere. Such is the problem with like blogs getting taken down, but then they have patterns on it. Internet problem. So this isn't showing up true to color. This is showing up way more blue than it actually is, and it has the greens and the blues. There you go. Maybe that shows the colors a little bit better. So that's a little bit more true to color. So these are 2x2 ribbing, flap and gusset heel, and then straight on till morning with normal toes. So this one has the big sparkle streak in it. This one is less sparkle-tastic. And I had tons and tons and tons of yarn left over. So this, like, it looks like it's almost a full skein. It's ridiculous. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the leftovers. So there's quite a lot. And obviously nobody I know wants any part to do with these socks, so they are, whatever. It's not the softest yarn ever. And then knit on zeros, I guess they are. good enough for people's fairy feet. But they're done, so now that they're on the blockers, I'll need to take an FO photo and post it on the internet. But glad to see the end of these. It was with mindless knitting, and so that's why I cast on the Viajante, was because I needed mindless knitting again, and now I just have endless mindless knitting, so not too crazy. I don't think if there's anything else. Nothing is coming to mind, so we'll assume that's good. Okay. I had a stash position to show you guys, but now I am unsure as to where it might be hiding. Well, I'll have to show you another time, because I'm honestly not sure. So I ended up getting the mini set of the Xiaogu interchangeable needles, because it was on Uber sale, and I was talking about it last week. It arrived super fast. I tried knitting, what was it? I tried starting the Viajante on it, but the US size 1.5, 2.5 millimeter needles were just a little bit too fine for the yarn I had, or in order to create the appropriately slinky Viajante fabric, so whatever. So it's ridiculous. There's 000 needles in there. I don't even know what I would use 000 needles for. And then the cable is commensurately thinner than, so it still has the steel with the plastic and what have you, but it's a much thinner cable because the cable is matched to the 000 width, so it's it's much floppier. But that's should be fine. So then, at least the very least, I have a set, and I could magic loop with it. I don't normally magic loop, but it's within the realm of possibility. So I haven't been able to really put it through its paces. I was hoping the Viajante was a project to do it, and it wasn't. So now I have it. It was a really great deal. What was it? I think it was like $45 for the set, when it normally costs like $80. So that was pretty cool. I did get another stash position, so this showed up in the mail, I don't know, sometime this week. It's the case where the nest is always coming, like, what is it, like the third week of the month, so it's the third week of the month, I got some nest. So when I was seeing the spoiler pictures, I was like, this might not be my favorite, but then it arrived in the mail, and it is much more blue in the picture, in real life, than it was in the pictures. So so it has this maroon and orange and blue, and some sort of purpley bits to it, and so the colorway is Poppy. It is Superwash Merino, and her Superwash Merino is Divine. And honestly, when I was seeing the spoilers, I was wondering if these guys all went together in some sort of happy purpley glomp. I don't know. But that was like the first impression, or whether or not even this also was in whatever. The color family of Molly doesn't normally go there. I know, honestly, this could be really lovely spun together too, so I don't know. I thought it was cool. I'll just throw those back where they belong. So, so I was pretty happy. It was the case where it didn't seem like it was gonna work, and then it was like, oh yeah, no, this is fun. It should be a cool colorway. But what would it be? It's just the case where I wouldn't normally pick orange for myself, but it really does make for a really fun skin. So, yay! So I probably won't be trying to switch this out or something. Let's see. So, I was just sort of jumping all around. Excuse me. So spinning is last up today. So, I had a chance to finish my singles last night. So I finished my singles instead of podcasting last night. So I finished these around 10, and I was like, not podcasting at 10. And this goes along with the singles I've already finished. So this is the combo spun with the variegated and the blue held together. This is the blue semi-solid. And then I have my last one, which is here. And I'm probably going to break this up a little bit. So this is the Noel colorway. I got this as my December club, and I am glomping it all together into one awesome skein of awesome. And so this has like reds and greens and blues and browns, and then some natural sections, or some grays in it as well, actually. So I'm probably gonna strip this a little bit more than what I have right now, just so that I get a very different, I might into thirds or quarters from where it is right now, so that I get maximum barber pulley goodness. So I want these to be pretty short bits of color, I think, when I'm putting it all together. And what's interesting is that the blue in my braid doesn't necessarily pop, but then since I have the blue incorporated in the other plies, I think it's going to be this colorway with extra ridiculous blue. So it was also interesting in the combo spin, because only some colors ended up coming across in it, so I found that to be interesting. So this is what's on my wheel next. I didn't even bother to bring it up because I pulled it downstairs after I'd finished, or after I'd finished my bobbin, and what is it? So after I'd finished the bobbin, I pulled it downstairs and then I brought it back up because podcasting. I honestly last night I wasn't even sure I was gonna hit this week, so but it's okay. We'll make it. We made it work. It was okay. So that's on next. It's looking like I will be able to finish, well, so, because to be on track for Spin the Bin, the blue fiber and the variegated fiber would count as 2 of my bin spins, and then they're combined together for awesomeness purposes. I'm not like, it was slow going getting the blue ply done, for whatever reason, but that's not the end of the world. It was slow getting the blue ply done, but maybe that was just because it was a semi-solid. I do have 8 ounces of the red to spin, and that's probably what I'll be working on in March and April, I'm assuming, because it would be really nice to have that sort. You know what I mean? I like it. It's raining. And I'm planning on knitting a breathing space. I think so far my singles have been turning out appropriate for 3-ply fingering. I'm using the correct whirl, I'm doing my default spinning, so I think I think we're good there. Let's see, but it's looking like maybe that red will be a slog. I don't know. It's really gorgeous red though. But probably on track for spin the bin still. There were some there were some things I threw into my bin which I probably won't get around to for different knit along purposes. Whatever. Such is life. Let's see. So the other thing I wanted to mention is the mostly fine cow. So my Viajante project is finer than fingering, so we're good there. And then my shawl is still going as well. So I have 2 projects for the mostly fine cow to satisfy my knitting with fingering weight or lighter yarn needs. What's funny though is that since it is winter, I'm not sure that winter and 79 degrees go together though, but that I should be working with not my finest yarn, but we will make it work. But feel free to share pictures of what you're working on. It doesn't need to be finished, just in progress. That's all I'm gonna have is in progress. If you're having a problem getting around to taking a picture, I understand. I've been having that problem all year long. Well, or whatever, for the past nearly 2 months. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else? I'm just irritated that I left my needles downstairs because they were cool. I'll have to show them to you guys next week. Let's see. Any other things? I'm totally drawing a blank right now. So I'm trying to think. I'm wondering now whether or not I actually want to put together a bottom for the turtle cozy. I might actually just want to do something like, or whether or not it makes sense to do something like leg straps or something like that to hold it onto the turtle, because I can see now how the bottom piece could get really gross. You know what I mean? So that's just, so I may not actually be knitting the bottom piece at all. Like there probably needs to be something to hold it to the turtle, but might need to figure out a decent way of doing that. So it'd be the case where if the turtle freaks out every time that it's let out of its enclosure, then that would mean that every time you applied the turtle cozy, you would have to wash it. So I don't know. Strange. So I'm wondering whether or not the bottom piece actually makes sense in the context of actually using it on the animal itself, or whether or not this is just an amusing, ridiculous thing that will only be done once for pictures and never again. I'm not sure. So I should be able to record next week, and then it might even be on Saturday. It's looking like that. I don't know. I prefer recording it Saturday, but sometimes it doesn't work. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? But we have plenty of podcasts today, so I think it'll be fine. So, so that would be. I'm just gonna look at the calendar because it's been. Alright, so I'll probably be recording on the 25th, and that's going to be the last Saturday in February, so we're nearly to March. Craziness. Let's see, anything. I think that's all. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.